chance to read the Mainstreet Research report, and if so, what did you think of it?
I have not yet.
Are you, from what have you read anything so far, or any initial reports, and what are your initial, at least?
Well, I really do have to look at it and see what it has to say. I mean, clearly they made some big mistakes. And the headline is, we didn't do it maliciously, we just made big mistakes. And there seem to be some assertions. People who vote for Nenshi won't answer polls. Well, doesn't that mean the poll is wrong? Because isn't the whole point of polling to get a random sample? So I suppose they'll have a lot of questions to ask themselves.
What are your thoughts on the apology?
I haven't seen any apology yet. Did I get one?
Yes.
Oh, what did they say?
Apologize to Nenshi.
Well, thanks so much.
New topics.
I know you talked about secondary suites a million times before,
No, I've never discussed
but today when the motion's presented, after so many times trying to come to a new process, how are you feeling right now?
That's a nice sports reporter question. I love it. I feel great. I feel like we've given 110%. Sorry, did I mention I got up at 1 o'clock Calgary time to get here today? No, I'm super happy. This, I hope, will be a day when we finally fix this. And I want to remind people of something. We've been talking for some time about how, it's a pain, it takes council too much time, it's inefficient. I want to remind people that this is actually a moral and ethical issue. For far too long, we have allowed too many of our neighbors to live in illegal suites without the benefit of the protection of the law. So if there's mice, if there's mold, if the smoke detector doesn't work, if your landlord is abusing you, you have no recourse. And to me, that's what this has always been about. Sure, it's about affordable housing, and it's about property rights, and it's about efficiency of City Hall, but what it's really about is ensuring every single citizen gets to live with the same legal protections as everyone else. And so if council moves forward today, as I hope they will, that'll make a big, big dent towards getting rid of unsafe illegal suites in the city, and for me, that's all this is about.
Earlier today, Councillor Maglioka brought up, he was pretty frustrated with the fact that at this point, at least it's scheduled, that the city is going to be paying for Deputy Premier Hoffman's role.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true. And I think if we had listened carefully to the response, and in fact to what was presented at IGA last week, people would know that wasn't true. The nascent Olympic bid committee that doesn't exist yet is paying for this. This was presented to council as part of what council approved 2 weeks ago, so no one should be surprised by it. And council also made an amendment saying that the federal and provincial governments have to do their contribution to that nascent bid committee before the Olympics. So if they choose not to contribute, then council will have a discussion over who's going or if anyone is going. So this assertion that the city is paying for them just isn't true.
Can we talk about the new sharing of the revenue agreement between
Sure.
and the provinces on marijuana?
Sure.
What do you think that might mean for Calgary?
Well, I had the opportunity to spend some time with Minister Morneau on the weekend, just talking about what he was thinking. And so the Federation of Canadian Municipalities' point on this is very clear. It's that municipalities themselves are going to incur costs. And of course, I would have preferred, as I always do, to see the funds flow directly to the municipalities, not through the provinces first. But Minister Morneau was very clear with me, and I believe has been very clear publicly, that one of the reasons they're giving more money to the provinces is specifically to cover the municipalities' costs. So it's going to be very important for every province to flow that money through with a minimum of red tape and a minimum of administration. So we would fully expect that of the 75%, well over 1/3 of that number would flow directly to municipalities, particularly large municipalities who have to deal with this.
So that's what you expect. Have you talked to the provinces?
Well, since it just happened this morning and I've been in council all day, no. But our point has been made very clearly to the province many times on this.
Would the policing portion of the city's cost be the biggest factor?
I actually do have those numbers. I just don't have them at hand. I would say not the lion's share, but a big chunk. That's actually one of the reasons why it was difficult for the federal government to flow the money directly to municipalities, because not all municipalities control their police. And so in cases where you have RCMP or you have provincial police, obviously the money would have to flow in a different way.
So you're hoping for an amount. Would you put that directly towards, say, police, or would you share it across the various agencies?
We've got to cover all our costs. As we learned last week, our costs on this, which include policing, bylaw, zoning, other administrative costs will be in the range of $12 million a year, about 1% on the property tax. So the first thing we got to do, obviously, is cover our costs. I'm not expecting a revenue windfall from this, but I am expecting that the excise tax will cover the costs, and we won't put that on property taxpayers.
So of the 25% that's expected to go to the municipalities, do you have any idea how much of that would go to Calgary?
I don't, but I would imagine that it would be, prorated to our share of the population, not just the population, but our share of business and industry. So,
But that would be your goal, essentially, is to cover the additional costs.
correct.
I need to get you on Main Street again for my colleagues at CBC French.
Oh,
Can
mon Dieu.
you answer just, the fact that they're saying this wasn't malicious and the Nenshi supporters don't participate in polls.
Le problème n'était pas qu'on a dit qu'il y avait du malice ici. Vraiment, le problème est qu'il y a des grands problèmes avec la science de sondage maintenant. Et si les sondages n'ont pas raison, c'est un grand problème pour l'industrie et c'est un grand problème pour la communauté aussi.
Were you already
That was
in
actually
the
better in French than it was in
Were
English.
you already, were you already in the air when the explosion happened in New York City today?
I was, and you know what? I was actually at that particular subway station on Saturday night. It was a pretty shocking thing. But, of course, our thoughts are with the people of New York, and it just reminds us that in this day and age, in every city, one has to remain vigilant. Thank you.